Today I am voice banking, which is recording my voice so that if ALS ever comes for my throat, I will have my voice recorded so that friends and family can still hear my voice even if I'm using text-to-voice tool. Hit record. They are now at the leading edge. I also put in my closest friends and family's names. My dog's name is Dre. All right, I just finished. It's now taking all of those phrases and creating a synthesized version of my voice. Okay, the recording's back. Let's see.
Hello, my name is Brooke.
I hate it. 1 star. Very bad. My name is Brooke Eby. I was diagnosed in March 2022 after having about 4 years of symptoms. Right now, my motor neuron disease primarily affects my legs. So you have something called motor neurons in your body. That lets your brain communicate to your muscles. So you can do things like move, talk, swallow, breathe. When you have ALS, those motor neurons, so you lose the ability to do all of those things. Typically, patients live about 3 to 5 years after a diagnosis, and the lifetime risk is about 1 in 300. Pretty scary odds. I barely knew ALS before I got diagnosed. I knew the ice bucket challenge. ALS started in my left leg and has traveled to my right leg, so I'm gonna show you what that looks like. This is my left, and you can see it's super atrophied. My right still has some muscle on it, although you can see it's starting to get skinnier. My symptoms started with drop foot on my left side. This is my right foot. I'm trying to pick it up like this. I try that on my left side. That's me trying. It doesn't move. I have to physically manhandle it. Also see it's like a redder color. It's always cold too. This leg is just way weaker. My hip is not super strong, so I can't push up. Whereas this leg, I can still do like this. The most invasive symptom I have is muscle fatigue. So I notice now after walking just a block or two, my legs feel like they're about to give out. And falling is not fun when you have leg weakness because you literally fall and you can't get up. The other symptom I have is what's called fasciculations, and that is muscle twitching. You can actually see it. It's like your skin is kind of jumping up and down. It's not painful for me. Those are my symptoms after 4 years. So I have been really lucky. It has, knock on wood, not affected my upper body or my swallowing or my speech. Today we are driving to go borrow my first wheelchair. I'm more excited than sad. I thought maybe I'd be a little sad, but I'm just excited to not be trapped because I get like 20 feet and I get so tired I feel like I can't go any further. I think it'll be liberating. With ALS, you go from having lighter power chairs to a more heavy duty one. Most people say save your insurance for the heavy duty one. Loan out one of the light power chairs. That's what I'm trying. Okay, here we go.
Oh, you're doing tricks? What are you doing?
Okay, we just picked it up. We off-roaded a little bit, popped a couple wheelies. We gotta name it. We go to a mall again or an amusement park. The world is our oyster.
I'm over here.
Okay, I have a scenario for you. You decide to go for a drive, but right away someone pulls you over and says, by the way, your brakes are failing, you cannot get out of the car, and in 24 to 36 miles, there's a huge cliff, and if you drive off of it, you die. And so now your brakes are failing, and you know you only have 24 to 36 miles to go, and then you see a mechanic, and he says, hey, just so you know, your brakes are getting weaker. And you say, I know, is there anything we can do to fix it? And he says, why don't I put these chains on your tires? They might slow things down the smallest amount. I'm not sure. Check back again in 3 miles. So you keep driving, and then you notice all of a sudden your friends and family are standing alongside the road cheering you on, which really makes you happy and cheers you up until you hit another 3 mile mark. So you get to the next 3 mile mark and you see the mechanic and he's like, hey, your brakes are getting even weaker. And you're like, I know, I can physically feel it. Is there anything you can think of that can help? And they're like, well, a couple people have had success throwing gravel in front of their car, but we haven't proved it's 100% safe yet. So we'd rather you just keep driving. So you keep driving and all of a sudden you notice there's other drivers on both sides of you. And some of these drivers are new parents or corporate leaders, or maybe a redheaded gal who just really likes making people laugh. So you hit the next 3 mile mark and you see the mechanic and you say, please look at all of these cars. Can you please help us? And the mechanic says, well, your brakes started failing 9 miles ago. If they'd only failed 2 miles ago, there's something I could have let you try. but unfortunately you're too far gone. Know your miles are ticking down, so all you can really do is roll down your windows and scream out the window in the hopes that someone will hear you and find a way to stop your car. And so all you have are the chains on your tires, the drivers next to you, and your friends and family on the sidelines watching you as you drive towards this cliff. And that is the best way I could think of describing what it feels like getting diagnosed with ALS. So I'm excited to show you a day in the life, how I get around, so let's get to it. So I have a lot of dreams about running, so when I wake up, I'll forget my legs don't work, and I'll usually fall out of bed. That reminds me to put my brace on. I wear a left-sided AFO, goes all the way down into my shoe to help keep my foot up when I walk. Then it's time to wake up the king of the household, Draymond. He is a little rescue from San Francisco, but he thinks he's my roommate. We go for our morning walk, and I use my cane every time I'm out walking. Helps me keep my balance. Then it's time to make that money. I work for a tech company fully remote, so this is my home office. After work, I have physical therapy. I go to a neuro PT, and we really focus on strengthening the muscles in my legs since that's where I've gotten weakest. I promise these are harder than they look. At MND until my dog will start harassing me to go on his nighttime walk. Then I'll take a shower using the shower chair, and I'll go to bed. Getting diagnosed with motor neuron disease or with ALS, they essentially tell you, there's no cure for this. There are some medicines and trials that may help slow progression, slow things down for you, but there's ultimately no cure. So as young adults, we really have to place our hope and our optimism of our future on organizations like Project ALS, who are dedicating all of their resources into research on ending ALS. So it's really important for me and all the other girls in her ALS story who were all diagnosed in their 20s, 30s, 40s, with an entire future ahead of us. We are really putting our hope in
Unfortunately, ALS is a degenerative disease which develops over time.
And allow us to live out the
Thankfully,
long
Brooke's
lives
sense
that
of
we'd all love
humour
to.
and online community keeps her
Brooke's
optimistic.
optimism and sense of humour in dealing with a neurological disease like ALS is utterly inspiring. While her story is tough to digest, her videos have been vital to many people dealing with ALS in understanding the disease and looking at ways in which to prepare and fight against its development. The comment section were blown away by Brooke and her attitude, saying, "Love your videos and spirit. Prayers up and good vibes your way." And "You are such an inspiration, such a great resource, thank you." As always, thanks for watching Happiest. If you liked this video, then be sure to follow our Instagram and TikTok pages for even more heartwarming content like this. And if you've got any videos of your own you want to share, make sure to send them in.